Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.
Hi, this is Ron Kinscherf with Muddy River News, and welcome to the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Rober and Phillips Attorneys at Law and Mercantile Bank. Today we're going to talk about Gamemasters with Heidi Gustafson. She is the assistant manager, and Trevor Beck, who is the owner, operator, money, everything else like that. But that's what I want to talk to you about. So you've been in banking for about 20 years now?
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in all this peripheral stuff that you got going on?
It's kind of a long story. Obviously, I've been in Gamemasters before as a customer.
Right.
I probably went there. Heidi probably saw me there just as much when I wasn't involved. But it's kind of a long story, and I don't want to get into details, but it just kind of worked its way into a relationship that I had with the previous owner. Mm-hmm. And basically, him and I kind of got together on another topic, and it kind of led into kind of a snowball effect on where it went to, and just worked out. And when he first contacted me about maybe purchasing, I told him he was crazy. I didn't have time for it, but it just worked out the way it worked out, and that's been a little over 3 years now.
So did you have any ideas of changing anything when you went in, or is it just okay, this is the way I want it, we're just going to roll along?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm a firm believer in you got to have the product to sell the product, so I felt like inventory was probably my primary focus, and just getting inventory levels up, making the store a little more, 2019 for retail was kind of like the dark years.
Right.
And that's everywhere, not just this store. And then COVID hit, and then things went berserko, as everybody knows. And I just felt like, having the product on the floor was important, and making sure that we were the latest, the greatest, and that is kind of was my focus, and it still is today. I think Heidi was like paranoid at first, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, what are we doing? But at the same time, it was fun to do and get it.
I'm assuming Heidi's in charge of making sure the latest and greatest are on the shelves, right?
That's right.
So how do you, Heidi, stay on top of what the new trends are, stuff along those lines? Are there conferences? How do you know what the latest and greatest is?
Yeah, there are lots of opportunities for that. Obviously, we are actually a member of a buying group, so there are buying shows that you can attend. We rely heavily on our sales reps. We have lots of different companies that we deal with, and we rely on the reps to keep us in the know. And actually, our customers do a really good job of watching YouTube. Everybody has a follower there in the hunting shows, and so they like to come in and educate us. And hey, do you guys have this latest and greatest thing? So even though I may not, have a fan on YouTube or anything like that to follow, I definitely rely on the customers and like I said, our sales reps to help us.
So you guys are about just basically hunting, right? You do some clothing, but
I wouldn't say we're all hunting. I mean, we're definitely like themed, and our backbone there is hunting, like guns, archery. But we do, obviously fishing. We do camping, a little bit of camping. I would say that it's, we're a big little store when it comes to, Quincy's size per se. But I mean, we do footwear, we do, safes. So it kind of does, the common denominator is hunting, but at the same time. Or
outdoors, it sounds like, right?
Outdoors / I don't know what the...
We like to say we're the locally owned outdoor store, and we're passionate about the outdoors. So we do carry like clothing brands like the North Face, Columbia, Under Armour, and for the camo lover, we carry Sitka and some of those, higher end brands that people they love to see and love to be able to buy it locally, come in and try it on, and then get the assistance they need.
So is there a percentage of or do you know the percentage of your stuff that is clothing versus guns versus fishing and archery?
I don't know that.
You don't want to share that necessarily?
I don't know that. It's not like, I mean, it's just
I guess the question I'm asking is how much clothing, do you guys do a lot of clothing sales there?
We do a fair amount. Obviously, when we opened 21 years ago, it was a little bit different trend. Everybody would, locally go to their store and, find the clothing that they were looking for, try it on and such. But the internet, plays a role in that. And, it's very competitive out there, no matter what retail business you're in, So we work hard to capture the sales that we can. But the main, our main attraction is our firearm industry. That whether you're a hunter or not, we have a lot of people who just shoot for fun, long range shooting, just pistol matches, different things like that. So it's not just hunting. Not everybody wants to go out.
And honestly, trap lately is probably our biggest. Like every high school has a trap team of 30 to 40 kids on each school, which is amazing and great at the same time. It's a great awareness for kids that are coming up, and like guns kind of get a bad rap, and not to us because we're around them all the time, but I think as if people are around them like we are, and the comfortability is there, they're not. It's amazing to we kind of find things funny sometimes about how people like tend to go and overreact about firearms, and it's just kind of like, but it's comfortability for us, so we don't want to make someone feel uncomfortable themselves when they're not aware of it, but at the same time, the youth trap leagues have grown, and I know Northside Boat Club down here does a tremendous job of getting youth involved with firearm safety. Just there's so many. I can name off 10 people off the top of my head that just do a great job with that locally.
Do you do any of that stuff locally at Gamemasters as far as the safety classes, things along those lines?
We don't.
Or do you partner with people?
We don't do anything as a store. My insurance guy would probably like choke me right now if I talked about doing something like that.
Okay.
But there's lines for us that being a seller of firearms that we can't do, and then of course liability stuff. So. Do we work with different? Yeah, I mean, we sponsor, I think, every school in some form or fashion.
Okay.
We provide trap vests, we provide shells, we provide this or that, discounts, things of that nature.
So where Quincy is located, obviously there are states very close to us. How difficult is it for you guys to keep up on various laws and stuff like that? I'm assuming you have to deal with that every time somebody comes in to purchase a gun from Iowa, Missouri, places along those lines.
It's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it is ever changing, and I think what's the hardest part for us is the assumptions that the consumer makes. Like, oh, I saw on the news today that they lifted the ban in Illinois. Can you guys sell us a 30-round magazine? Can you sell us this or that? It's like sometimes I think we're in a panic mode trying to figure out, because we don't want to be in the wrong and be like, no, we can't sell you this, and then someone goes and buys it at Shields or they buy it at wherever. And that's probably the toughest thing for us, I think, is the fact that, we want to be responsible. We don't want to break any laws. We want to make sure that, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we can capture every sale out there. But
you got people coming from all over, right?
For sure.
So do you have to have some knowledge of like 20 states, or are the states pretty much the same state by state by state?
In all honesty, Illinois is probably more strict than most of the states we deal with. So we have to follow our laws, obviously. The majority of our customers, will come from Illinois, obviously, and then Missouri and Iowa. And, they have to, like I said, follow the Illinois laws. So they have to follow our waiting period. In Missouri and Iowa, to buy a long gun, you just walk in, and once you're approved, you can take it that same day. We don't have that luxury, obviously, in Illinois. So, It's more on the side of they have to learn our laws to be able to purchase from us. So a lot of online orders we do, that's a little more complicated. There are states that are more strict than we are. So we do have to make sure that we comply with their
We could
their
probably
state
sit
laws.
here for an hour and go on a rant.
Right.
This topic.
Right.
And
But it just the point I'm trying to make is you guys have to know a lot about a lot,
Right.
rather than
Right.
just the
Right.
style of
Yeah,
gun and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, and it's
they
not
can bite ya.
Well, it's not
Right.
just the state; it's the federal side too. I mean, the ATF is, we've had our, there's ongoing compliance, ongoing training. We have an entire, call it, department in the gun side that is almost just compliance, and it really has taken over. That's with banking, that's with everything. And
Right.
you get the Fed involved, there's compliance to an nth degree.
So during hunting season, or right prior to hunting season, and there's a variety of different types of hunting seasons, obviously, people come to this area all the time, right? Are those people coming to your store also, or are they coming prepared with what they need in order to do what they want to do?
I'll let Heidi answer this because I feel like, go ahead.
Yeah, we, being at where we have been for 20 plus years, we have a lot of repeat customers. So a lot of people, obviously they had to make a visit for the first time at some point in their trips here, but we get customers that come in, and first of all, they have to buy their hunting license or their archery permit. Some of that stuff they can do online, but Illinois is a little behind. A lot of states have apps on their phones that you can just do it. So that will get the customer in there, and then while they're there, if the weather changes, maybe they were planning for a trip where the temperatures were going to be in the 40s and it drops down, and we get customers from all over the United States. So the Southerners come up, and what might be normal, comfortable for us is freezing for them. So they'll pick up some long underwear. They'll pick up some, maybe a whole new Sitka outfit, new boots. I mean, nobody wants cold feet. So, we get a lot of add-on sales from that, and honestly, they are a huge part of our business.
So a lot of these folks are working with outfitters, I'm assuming, right?
A lot of them do, but we have seen a huge growth of people who have purchased land, or maybe they're leasing land, and so they're kind of on their own.
So what's the impact to the economy with all that stuff, though? I guess where I'm coming from is that you don't think that the land's all outside the perimeter of Quincy necessarily, right? But they come in and
Absolutely.
spend money, and that goes to
and honestly, it's somewhat of a year-round thing any more than it used to probably be just coming in October, November, December. People that live out of state that either are leasing ground or they have purchased ground, they're coming up in the spring, they're coming up in the summer. There's a lot of prep that comes involved with that. So those people that do generate so much more dollars than just the 2 or 3 months in the hunting season, because all your prep is done late summer, midsummer. So there's a lot of, we see a lot of these people from out of state, like we'll see them in July or August. We're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And it's definitely impactful in the area. And this isn't just in Gamemasters. It's, implement dealers, it's outdoors, the outdoor related businesses, whether it's ATVs, UTVs, tractors, seed, anything that would have to do with the outdoors. I know several people that have built cabins, they've built homes, they've done this or renovate. So, everything is impacted, and it is truly like a trickle-down effect that's based upon one thing. It's like our natural resources that we have right here.
Yeah, and it's funny that when you think of Quincy, the area and the natural resources, you think of the river. You don't necessarily think about the surrounding areas, and that's what's drawing all these people. Right. And you hear about Pike County and the amount of deer.
Well, and honestly, the river, and that always is talked about with all these the tourists, tourism, call it in Quincy, and I feel like hunting is so overshadowed. It really is, because hunting is, like I said, it's not just 2 months out of the year. It's the spring, the fall, and in between times. And it definitely, we put a map up at the store to let people pin where they were from. And I was kind of making fun of them when they did it at first, but it is really neat to see of all the different people that have come up here. And like Heidi said, it's like we've created relationships. We've had famous people come into the store. We don't really post those things, but there's all sorts of things that come into play when it comes to hunting, because it's for everybody. It's youth, it's older, men, women, everybody. And it doesn't discriminate. There's no limits with it, per se.
But it's also a lot of it's a family type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's generational.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see, being there as long as I have. I see the kids that were, maybe 10, 12 coming in, now are, in their 20s, 30s, and maybe they're bringing their little ones in. And even Trevor, for example, his dad shops at the store. Trevor comes in, then he brings his son Reese, and it's just awesome to see that. And they're building that kind of it's like a common bond, a relationship that they can share together. So it's really, really awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Heidi Gustafson and Trevor Beck, both with Gamemasters.
Yes,
I'm Ron
thank you.
Kinscherf. Oh, you're very welcome. Ron Kinscherf. This has been the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Mercantile Bank and Rober and Phillips, attorneys at law.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.